Getting the full Monty tonight, huh, Dutch? Hitting you with both barrels.
Well, I tell you what, we need it. We need it. We need it a lot. We need it sometimes. Sometimes we need it every day, but we need it. That's the fact.
All right, so I want to go over that thing I said right before the break again because I think it just kind of got shuffled into, quick ran through it. But being angry is actually good for you when you use your anger as a tool, which we use it against problems, not against people. It's a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. But the science behind getting angry is that it actually reduces the negative impact of stress. Because what happens when you get angry and use it on your problems, not people? Because if you get angry at people, there's going to be fallout for that. But if you get angry and you use it as a motivational driver to solve your problem, it increases the blood flow to the left frontal region of your brain. And that's a part of the brain that's involved in experiencing positive emotions, and it also triggers closeness. So if you use your anger on the problems, it'll actually draw you closer to those relationships and those people. And I'm not trying to hide my anger. I will use the anger on the problem. And if you use it on the problem, it actually triggers closeness, the emotional ties that you have with other people, instead of using it against the people, which, of course, we know what happens there. It's collateral damage and it's fallout.
Absolutely. And if anyone who spent time in our space knows that we never deny emotions and the power of emotions. We've never preached suppression of it, even something like anger. We've never done that. We always say that emotions has its place. And if you're in control of your emotions, it can be one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful tool that you have. But you have to be in control of it. It has its place. We talk about the boardroom. We talk about what exists in the boardroom, but we talk about who the CEO is and who has to be in charge. And it's the mind, not the emotions, not the body. So the emotions are there. They play a part. They exist. They have a job to do. They are a resource. They are fuel. There are a lot of things, but they're not suppressed. They're not invisible. We don't hide them. We ask them to step up to the mic when it's their turn to speak, just like any other board meeting. When it's their turn to be used, utilized, deployed, however you want to term it, they have their place and they are powerful.
I like to think of them like, they have this thing now. It's like on demand, right? Like cable on demand, or your, Dish TV on demand, or whatever, Direct TV on demand. Our podcasts, you can get them on demand. The emotions are on demand. They're not just running amok. I use them and they're on demand. When I request them to come up, I send them out as like little soldiers, right? That's why I say anger is a tool or a weapon. It's like a scalpel. It's a sniper's rifle. I'm not going, nuclear with it, right? I want to be very, succinct and precise with it. And I'm going to use it in a way that helps me, not hurts me. But it's because I'm in control and I know who's running the boardroom. Just like you said, they all get their turn. They'll be in their driver's seat at some point because I deployed it. And I know I needed it in the driver's seat at this point in time.
And sometimes emotions aren't needed, and sometimes your body isn't needed. Your mind is always needed, but
right.
It's the problem is sometimes when you don't have that control, and everyone has been a victim of it. Your emotions jump up to the forefront and just take over, and we know that doesn't end well.
And that's what we call being a first reactor and not a first responder, right? So remember our 2-minute rule. This is how if you want to know how to get your emotions, what we call it, giving ourselves some cognitive space. I've got to give myself that 2 minutes. I want to say, channel the 911 operator, right? When we call 911, does the 911 operator react or do they respond?
Absolutely.
Right. So 911, what's your emergency? Not like, oh my gosh, there's an emergency.
Are you okay?
Yeah. No.
You just called 911.
Right. So they say, so this is what we want to do is we want to channel the 911 operator. What does the 911 operator do? What's your emergency? Then they start asking questions. Where are you? What's your address? What's the nature of the emergency? Blah, blah, right?
What kind of questions do they ask?
They're all just factual questions. They're not asking for truths.
Factual questions, relevant questions. And a lot of times when we're dealing with problems, we're dealing with a lot of things that aren't relevant.
Yep.
When you're dealing with, you have your relationships at work, you have goals, you have tasks, you have things that need to get done. The thing that's slowing it down, one of the biggest reasons it's getting slowed down, because all the irrelevant information that's surrounding what you really should be doing.
Sand traps.
Absolutely, sand traps. When you're dealing with your coworkers and you're trying to focus on a problem and they're giving you all this irrelevant information, you have to to understand how and why to get to the information that you need. You have to understand how, and you have to understand why. Why?
Okay,
Because
so let's give them a quick primer on that, Dutch, because we kind of waited. This is the thinking like crap. This is the 4-step critical thinking process, okay? So here's the first thing is clarity. What's my target? What's the outcome that I want? That's the C. The R is relevance. Is this relevant? Is this a sand trap? Does this help me or hurt me get to my target?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? So how you feel about a person, a coworker, is I can't stand them. That's not relevant to getting to the target. So you just need to be like, that's done, right? That I will not allow that.
Another one in there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I throw another in there? Relevant. It doesn't matter whose fault the problem was.
Nope.
Doesn't matter who caused it. It doesn't matter that. All it matters is it's your job to solve it, and you're going to shine when it's solved. Everything's going to be fixed when you solve it. So all the other stuff is irrelevant. A lot of times we spend time blaming, oh man, Smith did this. Or Smith, God, if Smith does this again, he did this last week.
How's that helping you? How's that helping you fix this? Now, I'm not telling you not to make course corrections with Smith. Now, if he's a subordinate or whatever, I'm going to go, we're going to make course corrections. We're going to get some training. We're going to, change so that we don't keep making the same mistake over and over again, hoping for a different result. Because what do we call that, Dutch?
Absolutely, that's insanity.
Right.
But check this out, and this is what people need to get. The fire department tries to figure out the cause of the fire after they put it out.
Right, not while it's burning. Hey, what do you think? Do you think this is arson, Dutch? Do you think that there was like an accelerant involved? Did somebody light a match?
Isn't that what we do? Isn't that what we do in corporate America?
That's a great analogy.
We spend a lot of time blaming one another, and the problem is still there. We're in the midst of it, and people are pointing fingers and all that. When you're that guy that leaves and starts solving the problem, they're going to go, hey, where did Coleman go? It looks like he's down there patching up the wall. Looks like he's stopping the water from coming through the wall down there. We're down here blaming each other, pointing the finger. He's already started solving the problem.
Well, that's why I'm partnered with you, man. I'm just saying, because you're that guy.
Amen, brother. But that's who we are, because that's the way we look at things. We don't get bogged down with things like that. When we have an issue, man, we go straight to solving it.
Yeah, and we're not in panic mode. We're not in blame mode. We're not, not in frustration mode. We're not in anger mode, right? We point all that mental and emotional and our physical energy towards solving the problem, towards our target. What's our target? And anything that's not relevant, we're not going to waste any time, money, resources, energy, or emotion on.
And as Andrew closes, I want you to close, but as you do, I want everyone to understand you have this power, and we're going to teach you how to unleash it, how to reach down, deep down inside you and pull it out.
Yeah, it's totally you already have all the tools you need. You just don't know them. You don't know how to use them, but they're in there. And Dutch and I walk you right down the path to do it, man. That's just really that simple. It really is. And it's life-changing. All right, so Dutch, the hour's gone, man. Do you believe that?
Oh, man. You know what? Time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies when you're having fun. All right, so we got some cool stuff coming up. You and I will be meeting each other in D.C. Then we have we're doing another event down here in South Carolina. Then we're going down to Atlanta. So you and I, our schedule's filling up, man. It's very exciting.
It is. I'm feeling really good. And the people that we're working with are heavy hitters. We're helping them solve their problems. They are heavy hitters.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what. So we're teaching a bunch of scientists, like legit scientists, the people in the government that regulate stuff, right? They're all like hard science PhDs. That's how much that, our stuff is recognized as being scientifically valid. They're bringing us in to teach them. And I think that goes to our credibility. Peace out.